It's been 20 years since A Book of Angels was originally published. What has changed for you since then?
We're always changing, aren't we? We're always changing. I think the most interesting thing that I find about my relationship with angels is how frequently I distrust it. It's so easy to have your rational, doubting, critical faculties come in and say, this is absolute nonsense. And even I, if I can say so, with all of my experience with angels, find myself at times in doubt. And this is part of the human condition. I think, if anything, I'm much more forgiving of myself of those moments when nothing is happening and I have no experiences. I love the stories, but I can't remember that my own life was saved by an angel. I can't remember the moments of absolute glory. And now it's okay with me that this is so, where before it wasn't. I thought I had to be in that exalted state all the time.
What are angels exactly?
In A Book of Angels, I have the widest possible definition of the mystery of this spiritual dimension. And the word angel comes from a Greek word meaning messenger. So angels are messengers. And they come in any way in which the message can be heard. They come as intuition, they'll come in a dream, they come as other human beings. You're walking down the street and you hear someone say exactly what you needed to hear at that moment. Accidents and coincidences, the little mysterious, magical ways in which, as if in wrinkles of time, the universe conspires to bring about a particular meeting, 30 seconds on either side, and you would not meet this person that you needed to meet on the street at that moment on this day. And then sometimes, but rarely, they come in their own radiant, magnificent form, and those are the ones that we absolutely remember, completely crashing over us, always with warmth and love and unfathomable beauty.
When A Book of Angels was originally published in 1990, it touched millions of lives. Why is it still relevant today?
I think it's relevant today. The whole idea of angels, this idea of a spiritual dimension that's on our side and is guarding and watching and protecting us, because people are afraid. We live in a climate now that I think is more fearful even than it was in 1990, when people were scared about other things, but the fear wasn't being thrown at us in the same way. Now people are afraid of losing their jobs. They're afraid of terrorism. You're afraid of the man on the corner who might have a gun. You're afraid of, open the newspaper and you'll see something to be afraid of. And it's thrown at us constantly, constantly. It is very good to keep in mind that we are not alone, and that although these are only stories, they're anecdotes, they have happened to millions of ordinary people. And reading the story reminds us that we're guarded and protected, not only by an external force, but also by the spiritual inner self that matches up. We are spiritual beings, and we're in connection with the angels.
We'd previously been discussing intuition. How do angels relate to that?
Oh, I think sometimes angels bring the intuitions. It seems impossible that I could think up the things that intuitions come. And if they are messengers from God, then surely the intuitions are sometimes messages from God.
Who do angels come to?
It is known that angels come to women more than men. They come to children more than adults. when I give talks, I'm amazed that if the talk is about angels, the audience will be 99% women with 1 or 2 men who have been dragged by their wives and girlfriends. If I'm talking about mysticism or spiritual matters or intuition, the audience will be 50-50. Why is that? I think that they come to the pure in heart, and nothing is more pure than a child. Nothing is closer to trailing clouds of glory than the infants that come. And I think that more is allowed to women than to men in our culture. Again, I think that it's a cultural thing that we do not permit men to have access to all of the possibilities that are their natural heritage.
Is there such a thing as guardian angels?
Everyone has guardian angels. Everyone is born with a certain number of angels who guard them through their lives, and then further angels are called in at moments according to need.
How do you summon an angel? Or how do you ask them for help?
Help, you say. It's very simple. Oh, angel, help me. I need help. The one word is the simplest way possible, but it must be done with a confluence of intellect and heart. It's a cry from the heart, unmediated by doubt. And the more you doubt, the more you're angry, the more difficult it is for the spiritual beings to come, because they have to fight the doubt and anger to get through. So the clearer you can be, the simpler, the more wondering, the easier it is.
Would I know an angel if it was standing in front of me?
If you saw it in its own form, there's no question that you would recognize it. But remember that they come in any way the message can be received. So if it comes to you in a dream, if it comes to you with the love of your dog, or if it comes by an accident or coincidence, it's very easy to brush it aside and say, that was an accident, that was chance. What does that mean? But if you are aware and looking and receive it with gratitude, then more and more will come to you. Because again, they love to be adored. They love to be thanked. And the more you do, the more they will come to you.
My last question, could you please give an example of a time that an angel has touched your life?
My daughter Molly was just a few months old, or a few weeks old, so young that she hadn't rolled over yet, and I put her on a bed in the far room with pillows on 4 sides of her, and I went into my office just a little bit down the hall, and I was working hard writing, when all of a sudden I thought, Molly is falling off the bed, and I raced down the hall and I caught her in midair. And then I thought, how could that happen? It wasn't mental telepathy, because certainly she didn't know she was going to fall. She didn't know anything about rolling over. And I still, to this day, have no proper explanation. I can only say there is some very deep tie between a mother and a daughter, but